What's up guys, it's me Janne here, and in today's video I'll be comparing how a controller and a steering wheel compare to each other in Dirt Rally. And the way I tested this was that I drove a Germany stage with the Audi Quattro with the same setup, so the differences are coming pretty much from the controller type. And yeah, I'm going to be listing the pros and cons of both controller types during the run of each controller type. And yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say, so let's start the video. Here we are at the start of the stage with the Audi, and this is the steering wheel run. So let's start with the pros of having a steering wheel in Dirt Rally. You have the ability to have way much more delicate inputs with your steering and throttle and brake, and also with your clutch if you have a clutch pedal, which means that you are in way much more control of the car compared to the controller, since you have a wider range of input choices to make, if you know what I mean. It's not like on off switch, it goes bit by bit and you can steer more and more and so on. And using steering wheel is also more immersive. It feels a lot more like the real thing than it feels with the controller. And with the steering wheel you can justify using gloves while you're driving. For example, you can say that, well, my hands get sweaty and I need to have gloves, so I have constant grip on the wheel, and or the wheel starts hurting my hands in the long run or whatever, but you can justify using gloves. And when you're using a steering wheel, you are using your whole body to play, because you are using your feet to control the pedals and you are using your arms to control the gear changes and the steering, which is good because it gives your body some very much slight exercise, but it's still some exercise to have on your body, and it's always better to have at least something compared to none. And you have a force feedback feature with the steering wheel, and that is a really big thing because you can feel what the car is doing through the feedback. And the cons of the steering wheel are that usually they are expensive, especially if you are trying to buy a good steering wheel. You have to remain in the same position more or less, meaning that you have to sit down all the time and you have the same position, and sitting is bad when it's done in long periods of time. And steering wheel setup or rig takes a lot of room, and it's usually loud, depending on the steering wheel and the usage as well, but those are pretty much the pros and cons of steering wheel. And nowadays, same stage, same car, same setup, only difference is that now I'm using the controller to drive. And let's start with the pros in here as well. It's a lot cheaper to have a controller, and it usually comes with the console unless you are getting cheated while you're buying a console. And the controller is really easy to store and it doesn't take that much room compared to the steering wheel and the special rig that you need to have for it usually. And when you're playing with the controller you can change positions, and yeah, that might sound weird to some of you guys. Changing position, you might associate it with something more sexual, but that's up to you, not up to me. But it's good that you can switch your positions and it's more laid back to play with the controller. And yeah, final pro of the controller is that you don't need a special rig for it. It doesn't have that much force that it would need some rig to hold it in. And now for the cons on the controller. you have no feedback whatsoever. So basically, all the information you're getting about the behavior of the car is the one that you are seeing in your eyes, and it's slower to react to something that you're seeing compared to reacting something that you feel. And with the controller you can have less delicate inputs, as you can see here, and it's more twitchy, the driving in here. Looks like Lance Stroll is driving. Yeah, also controller using is a way less immersive way to play. It doesn't feel like the real thing at all. And yeah, you can't justify using gloves when you're driving with the controller. You just look stupid, pretty much. Well, some of you might look stupid wearing gloves while using a steering wheel, but that's not my problem. I look cool as hell. And yeah, with the less delicate inputs you also have less control of the car, and usually you don't have, for example, a clutch pedal in a controller. And the biggest con of controller is that you can lose it. There's no way you can lose a steering wheel, it's way too big setup. And yeah, those were the pros and cons of a controller. And yeah, now we have reached the finish of the stages, and we could see that you had way much more control, or I had way much more control with the steering wheel. And well, you could also argue that I'm better with the steering wheel since I've been playing a lot more with the steering wheel. That is true, because I'd rather want to play with a good setup instead of a bad setup. And yeah, the times are here if I can edit them correctly. And yeah, we can see that the steering wheel was faster, and that is mostly because I can be way much more smoother with my driving with the steering wheel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have anything to add about the topic, please comment below, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, especially subscribe so you can see notifications when my streams start. But yeah, thanks for watching, bye bye.